Hi, everyone, and we're back to the Neil Haley Show, television and radio, and I'm with my co-host, Caregiver Dave Nisani, the Caregiver Dave Celebrity segment. Dave, how are you? And just the guest you're going to interview has been in so many different, amazing projects, but I guess shows my age that I loved him in Suits and Heroes. Anyone who's a Heroes fan will always go back to this guest. And I think that he knows there's a cult for Heroes and why it ended like it did too bad. And then also Suits. I'm hearing a new season of Suits, but go ahead and introduce our guest.
Well, we're talking about Eric Roberts. Maybe you've heard of his sister, Julia, but he's done so many movies. In the 80s, I think what we can remember, King of the Gypsies, Runaway Train, It's My Party, Love is a Gun. No, did I say that right?
Yeah.
Purgatory. The list goes on and on. Just how many movies have you done, Eric?
I lost count at 75. I have no idea.
You're even harder working than Glenn Morshower. I think he was called the hardest working guy in Hollywood, but I think you beat him.
Well, I'm not in the contest of Glenn, and I hope Glenn wins. I'm just lucky enough that they let me work every day I want to work.
Cool. So how did you two meet? Because you're a partnership, right?
Yeah, we are. We're bonded at the hip. We met on an airplane in 1989. I was flying in from Rome to JFK, where I was to be handed a script to read on my way to LAX to give an answer if I would do the movie or not. I get on the plane. It was the MGM Grand, it's a private airline. In my cubicle was an attractive redhead, also reading a script. So we talk about a script. Who wrote that? Who wrote that? She says to me, who's your favorite writer? I said, one guy, David Rayfield. He wrote blah, 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 blah. She goes, oh, I know. He's my father.
Oh my God.
Yeah, who knows?
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. Did you think it was love at first sight with Eric?
You know, it's so funny. No, not really. It was friendship at first sight, which was surprising because the roles he plays, you don't think that's a person who can become your buddy. It was that, and I really wasn't. I was very surprised that he got romantic.
I also had a kitten magnet with me. I had a little kitten in a little carry box. It's a chick magnet.
Oh yeah, that is a chick magnet.
Oh, that's a good dating tip, right? Especially when pandemic ends, to carry a kitten with you, right, Eric?
Not if you're happily married. Yeah.
No, that's not a good thing. But
yeah, you know, Eric, a lot of people don't know that you came from humble beginnings, and that caused a lot of too much freedom, I'd say, and you had a cocaine problem. How did you beat that cocaine problem?
I met her. And she said, you have to beat the problem or I'm out of here. So I said, okay, give me a second. She said, no, a second. So that's kind of how it happened. Yeah.
Wow.
I love that version of the story. It's that easy.
That's the
so Eric. So basically, you loved her so much. You said, So that's when you had the cocaine problem when you met her.
No, I've been at the end of the problem for a long time, but I was revisiting the problem on occasion.
Wow.
She said, you can do that. And I said, but I can. She said, no, you can't, or I'll leave.
Oh, wow.
You can't leave. So I straightened my shit out.
Is it cold turkey, or you went in a treatment center? I mean, how did it work?
Cocaine is like sex. Either you're having it or you're not. There's no. Yeah, I quit.
Well, he was asking if you went to a treatment center or had any help quitting. What would you say about that?
I would say in the end result, all you can do is quit by yourself. That's all you can do.
You got to want it more than the others do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, next question.
So how in the world did you conceive so many stars? Talking about DNA, I guess.
Crazy.
Oh. Yeah, it's wild. It just, you know, there's something about star quality, I suppose, that's just in the blood.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's also environmental, and it's spotting it and nurturing it. So, not being one of those parents who says, do your homework first. No, you got to have something to fall back on or fall forward on, or, that's not what you're going to do. You have to wait till you're a certain age.
You need a real job.
Yeah, the whole kind of bad rap that the arts get.
Yeah.
You have to sort of not be propagating that. And then your kids, it's amazing what they may become.
Because they feel like they're constantly being told no. What happens? You probably learned that early that just doesn't work, right?
Well, we never told any of our kids no, so we wouldn't know.
Yeah, we're kind of a just say yes. That's our philosophy. And even now we have a grandchild, and she was just opening all the lip gloss in my purse and just like squirting it all over the car. And so my daughter said, well, Mom, don't let her do that. And I said, I don't have don't let. We always use distraction. And there's another fun thing to do, but there's never any shaming or, no slam doors. That's just not our thing.
There is no wrong. I mean, if you want to open up lip gloss and it's all shiny and pretty and it's a red color, get it all over. Why not, dude? It's great.
There goes that's the Eric Roberts I know. Why not, right? A couple rules. That's okay, right, Eric?
So what part did you play in Julia and Emma's acting career? How did they come to realize that they too want to be like you?
The only thing that I did is I made the Roberts name famous. I got 3 Golden Globe nominations and Academy Award nomination before Julia was out of high school.
Wow.
And then she came out of high school. I got her first movie, which was a bad Western, playing my baby sister to get her Screen Actors Guild card. That's all I did, and she did the rest herself. And Emma, of course, had it easy, being a Roberts, being a second generation, and there we have it. And Julia was going to be a star no matter what. I mean, look at her.
Yeah.
The most beautiful woman on our planet. So there you have it.
So Eric, you spotted talent then. You knew exactly. You spotted talent in Julia, meaning even though she probably might have made it to the level without you, but you gave that little nudge to help it go a little bit quicker, the process.
Every little bit helped, but I can't take responsibility for her incredible superstardom. I can't take responsibility for that. That's her, and she earned it, and she did. I mean, look at Pretty Woman. I do twice a year. It's just a feel-good movie.
Yeah, it really is. And then I think it's just amazing how one thing will take you. And what one thing, Eric, was your break that changed you as an actor? Meaning, like, okay, everyone has to break in, and what one was the big break for you?
Well, there's a couple of things. It was my first movie, King of the Gypsies. I was on all these posters all over America, all over the world. His time has come, blah, blah, blah. And with all these stars, Sterling Hayden, Shelley Winters, Susan Sarandon, Judd Hirsch, Brooke Shields, I was the only unknown. And it was quite exciting. But then it was not until Star 80, my 4th film, directed by Bob Fosse, after he had just won Best Director for All That Jazz. And so he had carte blanche, whatever he wanted to do with the movie. So he's going to make a docudrama called Star 80 about the death of Dorothy Stratton. And I got lucky enough to capture the role of Paul Snider through audition with him, and got to work with the master, one of the masters of filmmaking. Mm-hmm. And had a great educational time, both as a man and an artist, and as a co-worker. I mean, he was he was a genius. And once you work with a genius, you realize 2 things: that you're not one, and that they're really special people. Wow. And he blew my mind.
Yeah, I have a 2-part question. When you were a nobody, waiting tables or driving a cab, whatever it is you did to make ends meet, to going after this career, did you know you were going to be Eric Roberts?
You kind of always have to. And even in the times when you don't really believe it, you lie to yourself. Like when you're trying to be sober, and you say, I'm gonna lie to myself and say I can do this, up until you can do it. And then it's kind of like the same thing with fame and fortune. I'm gonna lie to myself till I make it. You kind of lie to yourself all day, every day. I'm gonna be fine. I got another rejection. It's okay. I'm gonna be fine. And you just kind of muddle through it up until your reward is actually bigger than your investment. And you go, oh my God, did this just happen to me? And then your life is a roller coaster, and it's really fun.
That's a new take on fake it till you make it, lie till you make it.
So Eric, what character do you think people know you most from?
Well, the little kids all know me from Dark Knight and from music videos. It's weird. I get these little bitty kids, and there he is, Mom. And it's like, wow, what do you know me from? Killers. We love the Killers. My mommy loves the Killers. Blah blah blah. But it's from Best the Best, Pope, and oddly enough, this past 5 years, it's been Expendables.
Wow.
It's weird. Yeah.
I have a question for Eliza. So what part did you play in all of his success? And I'm not talking about the cocaine part, the afterwards, after cocaine, AC.
AC. I think that it was probably flying in the face of their name label representatives who were all about strategizing and turning things down and not bringing projects to our attention, just basically not working, inertia, waiting for incoming. And I think that my background as an actress and casting director led me to realize that, you got to kind of treat yourself as a commodity and go where you're wanted, because there's launching a career, there's relaunching a career, which happens to everybody every so often, and then there's maintaining. And just being a working actor. And I think that sort of, applying that philosophy and actually making that happen, that might be my contribution. And my other contribution is to help Eric stay production friendly, so that he understands there's a lot going on in a production. I mean, this is for all artists, besides their role. People have to worry about other people's schedules, about locations, about all kinds of things. And an actor can't just walk in and say, here's how I'd like it to be. It's a giant operation.
When you're an artist who makes everybody comfortable, you're an asset.
Yeah. Eric, same question to you from your perspective, without mentioning everything she just said. What part do you feel she played in your success after the cocaine?
To make me really realize that I'm just a cog in the wheel. I'm just a cog in the wheel.
And don't take yourself seriously.
Right. And when you are an actor who comes, to fame by being the main cog, you forget that you're just a cog, and you think it's all about your wheel, and you forget. And yeah, it's about me. Yeah, of course, about me. I'm the star, right? And
start believing your own hype.
You kind of do. It's kind of bad.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so pride comes before the fall, they say.
So you have to kind of get rid of sometimes you play a character on TV or movies and you try to play that in real life. And she steps on you and says, no, you're not going to do that. You're not playing.
It's not quite that cut and dried, but yeah, she's a good cop,
Yeah, exactly.
But you're humble enough to receive that.
So Eric, tell us developing characters that are real bad guys, that are really in looking at ones from your character in Suits and Heroes. How much of it is you, Eric, and how much is the character?
Okay, well, first of all, we got to back you way up to the definition of bad guys, because I love bad guys, and why I will always want to play bad guys over other guys is because bad guys to themselves are not bad guys, dude. I didn't mean to kill her. I would never have killed her. It's her fault, dude. I didn't cut her except she got in the way, dude. I mean, there's all kinds of stupid reasons. But bad guys are never bad guys.
Yeah.
So you got to stop using that. When I play no, I don't play bad guys. I've never played a bad guy in my career. That's how bad guys look at themselves. They really do, and they believe it, and they want you to believe it, and they're not going to be comfortable until you do believe. I didn't mean to kill her. I didn't mean to kill her, really.
So in that process, see, I go back to the days I was a former professional wrestler, minor leagues, and I know the babyface versus the heel, the good guy versus bad. That's what sells the most. And we're leaving that in pro wrestling. You got to have someone you hate. And you got to have someone you love. Eric, did you kind of feed off of the people hating you?
It's so much more fun to be hated because it's so definite. And even in airports now, I've been in movies now for 42 years, and I've played a lot of bad guys. And in airports, even now, I will have people recognize me and walk away, like see me and go, "Oops, that's him," and walk away. It's like, wow, she believes I'm the bad guy. That's so funny. And it happens once a day.
Wow.
What's the future hold for you? I think of Kate Hepburn and Henry Fonda. Are you going to retire, or you just go till you drop?
Well, I would defer to her with that question, but to answer it very quickly from my point of view, I'm having so much fun these past few years because they call me because they want Eric Roberts in their movie, and Eric Roberts. It's like, oh, thank you so much. Can I go make that, honey? and it's just such a pleasure to be famous, to be me, and I really do enjoy it.
Wow.
What else?
And you're happy. I mean, marriages don't last as long in Hollywood, do they?
I got a good one, and she's attractive. It's not.
You got any marital advice for actors and actresses?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same advice you give to sort of regular people, for anybody.
Times 10.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, sure, there is a different thing to it. I think that basically, it's the same thing that I'd say about a career, which is always find a way to knit yourself back to the time when you really wanted it. And, it's not going to feel that same exact way. It changes. You can have a favorite book, and the first time you read it, it's the first time you read it. And the 50th time you read it, you still love the book, but it's different. And I really think that if you can take a minute to really do like a sense memory exercise and recall that time when that was the most important thing to you and you couldn't wait to see each other or whatever. And the same thing with the work. So many of our friends are so established and they're just not excited about it anymore. And I feel like if they could remember a time when they couldn't wait to find out if they got the part, that somehow they could sort of work that happiness back into the present. And I think it's the same with relationships.
Let me add something to that. I get so many offers a day from all over the world, and they're very diverse offers. I'll be offered an older gentleman who is very nice father figure, to an absolute psychopath who murders his own daughter. I mean, I'll be offered A to Z, and what other actor is that lucky that I know? None. I'm the luckiest guy I know. I get those kind of offers every day.
Wow.
And so much fun to talk to her about. Oh, really? They want me to play that? So great! Oh my God. And we had these great talks about if we're going to do it, how to do it, about the travel, blah blah blah. And we just, it's like planning for camp as a grown up, and it's just fun.
Latest projects coming up, Eric. Tell us about.
Well, you know what? I'm the worst to ask that with, because I don't retain titles because they always change titles, so I refuse to retain them. So IMDb can tell you better what they are than I can. But the big one that I'm working on right now on my desk is Stalked by My Doctor Part 5. It's a lifetime. Who knew?
Oh my gosh! So And that's great to keep up with IMDb. Now, Dave has this next question. This question is very interesting, and it's one that why he's on. We call him the caregiver. So, Dave, tell your story and the question for our guests.
Well, I'm just a normal guy. You know, I run a gas station for 40 years, and one day I've been married for 45 years. 22 years ago, my wife was complaining about a headache. Just when we're going into the empty nest phase of life, all the kids are raised. We got them out of the house, got them married off, each one twice. And she complains about this headache that she had, turned into a stroke, lost her speech, became paralyzed on one side. And we went through a 2-year grief process where life was a living hell for both of us. We almost broke up. But we hung in there, and she reinvented herself. And now I travel all over the country speaking on stages and television, and wrote 4 books, have a syndicated radio show. My question to you is,
story, dude.
You know, I've written a book, and I have a website, caregiverdave.com. It's a membership website for caregivers, caregiver support group. Because I believe if you're not a caregiver today, just wait. You're either going to become one or you're going to need one. There's no escaping it. That's the tsunami on the horizon nobody's talking about, like Medicare, you know, more people taken out. There's a shortage of caregivers, shortage of care facilities. My question to you guys, how has caregiving affected your lives?
Oh, boy, do we have a story for you.
Well, I'm writing a book, and it'll be in that book as well. Go ahead.
We just lost all 3 of her parents, both her father and her mother, and stepfather, father, and mother. And man, we saw them all grow old and unable. We saw it all. And one of them, we saw it mentally. All 3, we saw it physically. And it was a wake-up call. And we realized the only reason to make money in life and to save it is to have it when you're old. Yeah. So you can have somebody take care of you, because we all are going to need that.
My mom was my parents. It's my biological father, and then my father, and then my mom. They were all in the industry, and my mom was at the motion picture home, and she actually died February 1st of 2020. So it was a serious pneumonia. Like, nobody's sure if it was COVID or not, as a matter of fact. And they did end up having quite a few cases at the motion picture home. It's, you know, it's so hard to think about this when you're 20. You guys were relatively young when this happened.
Yeah, she was 52. I was 42.
Wow, see, that's young. Okay, and that's interesting. We have a lot of friends where there's that kind of age difference. Either way, the guy, whatever, or both guys or both women. But, you know, there's no school for this. I mean, I think you are the school for this.
And hard knocks.
We're all in LA. When the pandemic's over, you guys got to connect and collaborate on something for Dave's.
Oh, please.
I'd like to have you on my radio show.
We would love to, and it really is a thing, because you know, you don't it's like having a baby. You're suddenly in your 60s, let's say, and your parents are in their 90s, and suddenly you have a newborn, you know, basically. And you're not in any way, you're not prepared for it financially, physically. You don't have the time. It's really, there's a lot to it. And then there's of course the weight of the relationship. I mean, you guys were married. We're talking about parents. You know, there's all of that. These are not perfect relationships to begin with. And it's not what you sign up for. When you say those old vows, you know, in sickness and in health, which nobody says anymore, but, you know, somebody was smart to write that, because they're like, commit, I'll do this, right? And the guilt you feel wanting to get out, you know, and have it be over. There was a great line in terms of endearment when Shirley MacLaine says, "Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I thought when it was finally over, it would be a relief." And you know, and you have both tracks running, but look what you guys have done with it. It's incredible.
It is. So caregiverdave.com is where you can find more information. And Eric, where's the best place we connect with you? IMDb, or you have a website or anything, or where can we go?
EricRobertsActor.com. That's me.
He's also on Instagram, and he's also on Twitter. He's also on Facebook, but most active on Twitter, just mostly because we don't really know how to do Instagram.
I have such trouble with Instagram.
So are you managing his Twitter, or does he just tweet himself?
We do it together. I mean, we do a lot of it together. You know, so it's, you know, so it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
We actually argue over answers sometimes. No, I want to say this. No, you can't say that. No, you can't say that, baby.
So you have your own publicist, you have your own partner. What a great opportunity. And that's where you can focus on during those projects when it's really stressful. Like, I know you shot a movie a month ago that you basically got to think about your job, and she helps you keep thinking about your job and not all those other details that they have to find the right person to do. So that's a nice thing.
It's even more specifically artistic than that. Like, I was doing a job last month where I was playing a guy in his conscience. So I was having conversations with myself, and I had one day in between projects to prep this piece. But it's such a good piece that I said yes to it. I want to do it. I turned to her and I said, I'm not going to have time to do this project. She said yes. I'm like, oh God, you know. So it was a nightmare. It was so hard. But she took care of me like a mother.
That's fantastic.
She'll be a good caregiver.
Well, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Unbelievably enough, we have some really interesting back-to-back interviews just happened that way, but I appreciate you guys coming by, and I'm going to definitely have you back on again, Eric. I have your wife's contact info. I'll reach out to the best publicist in Lori DeWall. Love her. Yeah. And so shout out to her. I've been working with her for like 9 years in different ones, but Eric, you take the cake of clients for her. So absolutely. I appreciate that time, and guys, take care.
Thank you.
Bye. We'll talk again.
Yes. Show and take care, guys.
Yes.